Hey folks, Kaya here. I Should Roll will always be free to listen to, but it's not free to make. So please consider supporting us by subscribing to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Intergalactic Improv Initiative. You'll find the link in the show notes. As a stellar streamer, you'll receive exclusive bonus content and our enduring gratitude. Tiers start at $2 per month. See you on Calliope Station.
Correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
A podcast by the Intergalactic Improv Initiative.
Time and Void, Episode 1, New Friends, featuring the voices of James Frederick Hallow and creator Kaya Renwick. People assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. I Should Roll.
'27 Ashbarit, 2977. New Rannoch Calendar. Chaska, Matano System, Maroon Sea.
Your long-range scans lead you to the dark side of the tidally locked planet. You touch down, turn your suit's heating coils to maximum, and set foot on the gritty, rocky ground. There is no light here but the stars, and the reflections of Matano's rays off the glittering synthetic ring. You opt to boost the night vision software in your visor, rather than using your OmniTool's flashlight function. It's not often that dangerous fauna evolves to live in minus 60-degree weather and utter darkness, but it would be unwise to attract attention. You don't know what you'll find at the end of this hunt, but synthetic transmissions on unfamiliar frequencies are curious, especially when they show up out of nowhere and appear to be hiding on planets that are nominally very dead. The nascent human colonies don't count. Whatever species naturally inhabited Chaska, they've been gone for hundreds of thousands of years. You considered settling down after the war, finding a ship to serve on and avoiding the hell out of space stations for the rest of your life. And yet, here you are. Maybe you have a death wish. Maybe it would have been just too boring. Or maybe that'll happen later. Right now, there's just you, in the dark, with a puzzle to solve, and a whole bunch of grenades on your belt. The last several months have been a roller coaster for you, Teru, just to put it mildly. After discovering a relic, you followed its path to a space station wherein you were trapped by a whole bunch of Reapers who apparently seems to be very interested in said relic. And after one thing and another, you denied them access to that relic, and we can explore that at a later date. But today is several months after that, and you are on Chaska. It is very dark, and you are following the lead that this relic gave you to you don't know what. But you are following a faint frequency, a synthetic frequency, which is not something that typically happens. That's relatively rare. You follow the faint frequency across an empty, wind-swept plain into a treacherous, boulder-strewn crevasse to an edifice that appears to be wedged in the rock. It resembles a geodesic dome, but instead of triangles or hexagons, its facets are heptagons. If it had an entrance at some point, it is hidden in the ground, but a section of the heptagon sphere is sufficiently damaged that entry is possible, and given all of the rocks and debris around it, it is an easy climb to the broken section of the sphere.
Excellent. Teru is first going to scan the local area with his night vision,
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure there isn't anything interesting hiding up on the rocks.
As far as your night vision tells you and your motion detector tells you, because Teru is nothing if not paranoid and prepared, you are the only thing moving and emitting any sort of heat in your immediate environs.
All right. With that safety in mind, Teru is going to carefully crawl up to the opening and look inside.
You would immediately see it's very dark in there. There is no light in this area of Chaska. You are on the dark side of the planet. It is tidally locked, so everything you are seeing is by night vision. It is a reasonably large drop, probably on the order of about 10 yawns to the floor. And so from where you are on the, we'll call it the ceiling of this edifice, it does look like you are on the ceiling. It looks like this structure does have an orientation where you are up. And so on the floor, at this distance, you can see there are a number of smaller structures scattered around. You would probably need to get closer to see them clearly. You again see no heat signatures there.
Interesting. All right. From where I am, can I see if there is actually an entrance on one of the sides? Or is this somewhere where I'm going to have to drop down?
I am going to say that... Okay, so from where you're sitting, it's about 10 yawns to the floor, and you are able to calculate that the entire structure is probably about 30 yawns across. It's a roughly spherical, as you're sort of crouching there on the edge, letting the night vision software do its work. You can make out that there is a heptagonal floor. So this would have been a dome or a sphere that at one point sat on the ground and its base is heptagonal. However, I'll say that it's big enough and you're close enough to the center that you don't have a clear view of sort of like the inside of the shell. And so no, you can't see from here if there is an entrance.
Got it. All right. Remind me, would this be a safe drop?
It's a little high. Quarians are pretty resilient. You're not like right over top. The damage to the ceiling is like closer to one of the sides. And so you do see there are structures that you could sort of climb down onto if you didn't want to like hook a rope somehow or something like that to the edge or to attempt to.
Do I have a rope?
Does Teru travel with a rope?
Well,
does Teru manufacture rope? That's your call.
Sure, then a rope would be very useful here, so I'm going to make one.
Very good. I would like you to do a perception check or investigation check to see where you're going to tie this rope.
Okay. Investigation 16.
Okay. You very quickly realize that the nature of the damage to the ceiling is such that there's nowhere you could tie a rope to.
All right, I guess I'm climbing down.
And with an investigation that high, I think you would pretty quickly figure out that the edges were melted, and as far as you can tell, peering into the darkness below, there is no trace of the material that was originally there, which appears to be some sort of metal. And again, with a success that high, and your history, whatever this is, was vaporized by a Reaper's magnetohydrodynamic cannon.
Well, honestly, that's a good sign, because it means that the Reapers, this is probably not a Reaper structure, and probably is not going to be brainwashing me, just from me being inside, and also I'm less likely to run into a huge number of husks in there, just waiting.
Seems legit.
Other defenses, maybe, but probably not the Reapers. But we'll see.
We'll see, yes.
Only one way to find out. Guess I'm going to be climbing inside. Carefully.
All right, give me an athletics roll, or acrobatics, whichever you prefer.
Acrobatics 22.
Okay, you make it down no problem. This is hardly the most difficult passage you have attempted in the last year. It's honestly, it's a little bit nice to be able to climb down something without someone trying to, tear your head off or shoot you, or, it's kind of relaxing. So you make it to the bottom, you make it to the floor, and I am going to...
As an aside, while Teru is paranoid, I'm going to try to reduce the amount of paranoid looking around just to keep things moving.
Fair enough. Okay, so there is now a map in the chat that this is what you have come into. You are the little green star. So there are... So yes, the structure is approximately 30 yawns across. The measurement is not exact. You see 3 1.5 yawn high sort of chevron-shaped structures arranged as you can see in there. There are 6 2 yawn high spires spaced evenly around the heptagon. And there are shells of bipedal suits of armor scattered through the structure. Some of them are behind the chevrons, some are not. That is all I will tell you at the moment. If you want anything else, you will have to crawl around and investigate. Crawl being not an actual word.
At the top there.
Oh, yes, and at the top. Yes. At the top, there is a 3 yawn high heptagonal pod. So the base is also a heptagon, and it's sort of like a slightly rounded prism shape. And again, it is very dark in here, so you cannot see anything more. All of these are just sort of being outlined by your night vision.
Okay.
And as you do a sort of like the circle, you do also see a similar break in the structure as the one that you came in on at the opposite side from the pod. So if we imagine the pod as being north, there is a large break in the structure at the south.
Okay. And that's also in the ceiling?
Yes, it is of the same sort as the break in the ceiling.
Okay. Are there any of these armor shells near me?
I would like you to roll investigation.
22.
Yes. They're a little bit everywhere, actually. And so as you're taking a closer look at them, you realize that some of them are empty, some of them are not. Okay? And some of both of these, some of them have clearly been damaged, although you see no evidence of any weaponry remaining. There's no guns have been tossed aside or broken. You're not seeing anything that looks like a weapon. But some of the shells have taken damage, some of which is similar to the damage that you know that Reaper or Reaper ground troops will cause, and some is not. And some show evidence of what you can only presume to be Reaperification, for lack of a better term. The shells that are not empty, it is not so much that it is a shell with a body or a skeleton inside it. It is that some of these shells appear to be shells, as in suits of armor or hard suits of some sort, and some are more like mobile platforms. Some are filled with a synthetic creature that has long since been abandoned. I will say it doesn't look like any debris has fallen into the structure from above, despite the damage to the ceiling. And I will say with that high of an investigation as well, you can definitely work out that there were 2 sides in this conflict.
I was going to ask.
Yes, some, you would guess, defending the pod or defending the north side of the structure, and the invaders, for lack of a better term, coming in from the break in the south of the structure.
All right. And does it look like the ones defending the pod were the non-Reaper ones, the Reaper ones, just the synthetic ones? What mix?
And of course, it's not quite as simple as they're all either facing this way or this way, because obviously this was a battlefield, and so they're a little bit all over the place. But I will say that you don't see any of the Reaperified ones that appear to have been defending. Otherwise, it's a pretty wide mix.
Understood. Very interesting. And the chevron things,
Mm-hmm.
do those look like they were built as cover, essentially?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
These are the equivalent of the waist-high walls.
Perfect, okay.
You're very familiar with this sort of arrangement.
Yes. All right. So, it looks like there's presumably something interesting in the pod, or there was at some point. There were obvious threats coming from the south. Teru is interested in, or I am interested in, exploring the pod, but
Okay.
want to check on a few things first.
Sure.
If there are any of those synthetic suits between him and the pod, He's going to stay low and move over to check one of those.
Okay.
For the record, he's just staying low out of sort of instinct at this point.
Habit.
Habit, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's certainly not difficult to find a synthetic body and investigate it. They're a little all over the place. What are you looking for?
First, does it look like a geth in any way?
No.
Okay, good.
Not at all. They are bipedal, they are taller, so you think like Krogan height, so taller than your average bipedal in this particular cycle. Sort of a rounded, you don't see any facial features on any of them, but sort of like a rounded blank slate. And you don't know you don't know if things have worn away. You don't know how long these bodies have been here. They don't resemble anything you've ever seen before. They have 5 fingers and a thumb, which is the only significant difference from species that you're familiar with. Otherwise, fairly long limbs, and I will say that the synthetics look almost identical to the suits of armor. They're very, very similar. You probably have figured that there's variation in the size of the suits of armor, where the synthetics are all more or less the same dimensions. But it seems fairly obvious at this point that in sort of the same manner as the Geth and the Quarians, presumably this particular species made robots to resemble themselves.
All right. Makes sense. I'm still going to be very wary of those and give them a wide berth just in case something is still working and one of them tries to grab for my leg.
Reasonable.
So as I head for the pod, once I get to a spot where there is a direct line of sight between those places of cover towards the south entrance, I'm going to plonk down a sentry turret just to watch my back as I go to investigate.
Okay, absolutely. There's a sentry turret on the field. And just sort of does I imagine sort of doing like the sprinkler effect. Just scanning.
I feel a little safer already.
Yeah, fair enough. You've reached the pod. What are you doing?
Okay. Does it look like it was here from the beginning, or did it crash through the ceiling on the far side and land here, or what?
You have rolled high enough in your investigations. I'm just going to give you this. It's definitely been here since the beginning. It could have been brought in. It's not like part of the ground. It's not a carved statue. So it could have been brought in, but it definitely didn't crash through. It is nicely settled. It is aligned with the rest of the room, like the heptagons align. So this is definitely deliberately placed.
All right. What sort of material does it seem to be made out of, and does it have a door?
It does not appear to have a door. It appears to be just a solid. There are no seams in it, and it looks like metal. Some sort of you would get like you're scanning with your Omni tool. Again, this is all very dark, and you're getting back. It's an alloy of pretty regular metal.
No particular patterns on the outside, or it's just a piece of metal. It looks like.
It appears to be sort of a heptagonally shaped egg. That is 3 yawns high.
Does it have any resemblance to the artifacts I found before?
It looks like a much, much larger version of it. Like you had the little, what are those little, like the Fabergé egg version.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to walk around that as much as I can. Just take a look over it, see if there's anything interesting or disuniform.
Sure. So it's a pretty tight squeeze between the back of the structure and the egg. You can kind of like crawl around the bottom of it. But as you do, you discover, and I suspect this must be like a bit of software that you wrote to save your ass by pattern recognition or something, because you would not, without light and without actually touching it, you would not have found this change in the metal. There is a tiny little glyph, probably about the size of your thumb, at the base at the back. Do you pause to do anything with it, or do you continue your circle around the pod?
Am I able to take a picture of it with some sort of night vision effect so it will actually show up in the picture?
I imagine so, yeah.
Cool. Then I'll do that. not going to start poking anything quite yet. Want to do a little bit more investigation first.
Okay.
So I'll continue around, but I'll very much keep a note of where that is.
Okay. You just almost all the way back around, so you've almost come around to the front again. And I should say that the egg is sort of like up on a step, sort of a dais sort of thing. And so you've almost come around to the edge of the dais again, and you find something that I don't have a picture of, which you'll just have to imagine. It sort of looks like a boomerang that's a little bit more bent, and it has, so one arm is smooth, and the other arm is scalloped at the end. And it is just lying on the dais next to the egg. Pod, egg, whatever.
All right, then. I'm going to carefully try to pick that up. Or actually, okay, I'm going to poke it with my Omni-Tool generated thing from a distance. But if that doesn't explode...
Okay, you give it a poke. It does not explode. It just sort of like, it scrapes along the rock. It is also made of metal, and it appears to be inert. And so you pick it up with no problems.
Okay. Doesn't do anything I notice while holding it?
Do you have a kinetic barrier active? Do you have a shield active?
Yes.
Okay. Then you get a little zap of electrical current goes between you and it, and the inside of the triangle, you would guess it's some sort of data pad or scanner or interface or something, but you're holding it by the scalloped edge, or a scalloped arm, then the inside of the triangle, it now has a holographic interface. There's a little spinny heptagon in the center for a couple of seconds, and then it flashes at you, and text in a language you, of course, do not understand, flashes, followed by, you see 7 points arranged in a heptagon, and 1 is flashing.
Okay. Is it in a particular spot, or is it one of the top 3?
So if you take a look at the initial map,
Yes.
you'll remember that I said that there were 6 spires, and those spires are marked.
Yes.
Those spires correspond to 6 of the points. The one that is flashing would be the one directly across from the pod at the south end of the sphere.
Yes. So the glyph is clearly in the same arrangement as the pillars there. It's just flipped upside down. And the spot that's flashing is that top point in the glyph.
Yeah.
At least that's my reading of it.
These guys liked 7s.
So they did.
So as far as you can tell, there are 6 points that correspond to the 6 spires in the room. There would be a 7th point, but that one doesn't have a spire, and that's the point that's flashing.
Okay. So we've got the glyph back there, which may be a button, but maybe not. Okay, before I start messing with anything further, I'm going to finally go and investigate the south side of the room, carefully following along that right side wall in the map. Partially so I'm not in the line of fire of my turret.
Reasonable. You get around to the south side, and you find as you get closer, obviously the resolution on your night vision gets better as you're closer, and you find a considerably larger number of long dead metal synthetic reaperified bodies. Nothing's moving. You're not getting any heat signatures. The break in the sphere is large enough that there could have been a door there once, and it's just gone. And there's a veritable mound of bodies that have, you don't know, maybe somebody used a really big rocket. Who knows? But do you go all the way to where the flashing point would be?
After checking the hole, yes.
You don't see anything particularly interesting about the hole. It does look like it was also melted open, so it wasn't inside, not going out. And you realize very quickly that the spot where that point of light is flashing is currently covered in bodies.
Lovely. All right. Let's see if there's anything that means I don't have to do this with my bare hands.
I mean, your hands aren't bare.
Still. Unfortunately, nothing immediately presents itself. Okay. I could, just out of curiosity, and for entertainment, I suppose, and so I don't have to start digging, I'm going to stick a supply pylon in that spot, just on top of the bodies.
I would like you to roll me a luck check, please.
19.
There's a little blink from the interface, which I assume you're still holding or have like on your belt or something.
Yep.
And the spot stops flashing. More illegible text scrolls across it. And then you are presented with 2 buttons, ? Both of which are, again, in text that you cannot read. You've got one on the top and one on the bottom.
Okay. I'm going to move away from that new pillar. Head over towards the pod.
Okay.
Get behind one of those cover spots, and then press the top button.
Okay. I need you to tell me which spot you're behind.
The one on the right.
Okay.
On the map. So.
Okay, so like the northeast chevron.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're pressing the button, correct?
Yep. Don't know what it says, but I haven't found any alphabets around here yet, so.
Okay. There is you feel a surge of power. The spires light up. And then very suddenly your vision software overloads like nobody's business. You are in full sunlight and you... Let me double check the other map very quickly.
I wonder if those are reflectors too. Eh.
I'm sure it's fine.
Sure, it's fine.
This is the map that did not get uploaded, because this is a secret map.
I should mention, I'm trying not to stand directly in one of those lines on the symbol.
Yeah, sure. So, you... Yes, there is this moment of overload of your sensors and this bright sunlight, and then you are faced with a horde of Reaper husks and troops that are of a species you have never seen before, and a Reaper destroyer on the outside that as you appear, as you see all this comes into sight, that horrible roar cascades through the place, and a laser etches a path directly straight up south to north, carving a path through all of those beings and narrowly missing you.
I'm glad I was in cover. And also, press the other button, press the other button, press the other button now.
Okay, you press the other button. As you do so, you hear someone yelling, but you wouldn't have understood what they said anyway, but the yell gets cut off, and you are back in the darkness, and I would like you to make 2 successive con saves, please.
12 and 6.
Okay. You get back into the darkness, and you have this moment of pretty intense but fairly brief nausea.
Alright, so Teru is going to be taking a moment to just come down from that moment of panic.
Uh-huh.
And also the nausea. That was essentially a physical flashback that also triggered at least 2 mental flashbacks at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's gonna need a minute. He looks over after that brief moment to check whether the turret is still there.
Turret is still there.
Peeks over the cover to make sure the pylon is also still there.
Pylon is also still there.
Okay. Well, this place suddenly got a lot more concerning. Fascinating, but concerning. So, the top button sends him back to the past. The bottom button, sends him to now, presumably. Doesn't know what will happen if he presses the bottom button again here, beyond it potentially pointing him into the future, and who knows what it will be there. Alright. Okay. Everything's fine?
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is currently trying to kill me.
Nope.
I don't want to go back there, but probably will have to. Next time I'll have my gun out first. I don't know if this goes back to a precise point in time, or if time is moving forward as the time here is moving forward. I'm going to assume it's a precise point in time, because otherwise the coincidence is maddening. I'm going to go poke the button on the pod, if that is a button.
Okay. You go and poke it, and nothing happens.
All right. So it was just a clue. Probably, hopefully, we'll see. Gonna go have to travel in the time stream again, aren't I? Well, I want to find whatever the Reapers were either trying to get to or trying to not let us get to here. The only reason I survived that station, after all. Before going back into that, going to go back to the same spot. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to go back into that cover spot. I'm going to get partially... No, that gets hit by the laser. Does the laser go all the way across the entire room?
I need you to make me a resolve roll to see how well you remember.
12.
You think maybe, but you smashed that button real fast.
Yes.
So you're not sure, you're not convinced. It was on that path, but you're not sure, like, your mind could have filled in that it went all the way, you don't know. You saw Reaper, you went fuck, and you hit the button.
Yeah. Is there any scarring on the floor here?
No.
Alright, good enough for me. I'm going to head up to the north, get partially behind the pod.
Okay.
And then hit the bottom button.
If you hit the bottom button, nothing happens.
Alright, we're doing this. I'm considering where the safest place to be in that room is at that time.
Mm-hmm. Reasonable.
The pod survived.
Mm-hmm.
The people behind the cover, some of them survived for a little while. Whether they won, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if the laser goes all the way across the room, and I do not want to be hit by a Reaper laser.
G.
So.
G.
Yeah. Alright. I didn't immediately die in my last cover spot, so we're going to try that again.
Okay, you're going back to your initial cover spot?
Yep.
Okay, and you're pressing the button. The top button.
And I'm pressing the button. I'm taking my gun out.
Okay.
And then I'm pressing the button.
Again, there's the surge of power, and I feel like you maybe close your eyes or or polarize your visor or something.
Yeah.
And so the initial flash it does not quite disorient you quite so much. And the deja vu is strong in this moment as you are brought back to the exact same moment. The Reaper roars, the laser begins to fire. I'm going to say because you're ready for it, you have a second to react. We're in bullet time here, as it were.
Okay. Right now I'm just trying to get information. I'm looking around quickly, seeing who's here, and if that laser is... I really hope it's not going to refract off the thing at the far end and kill us all, but... Basically, is there a bunch of gunfire around us right now, or what's happening there?
So you are seeing there's an oncoming wave of husks, and you are surrounded by a couple of defenders remain who are fighting. You can't really tell what they're fighting with. They don't seem to be holding guns, but there's something going on. Husks are falling down. There's a lot of noise and screaming. The Reaper laser carves a path through, takes out someone directly behind the front chevron. And then as you're finishing your check, you see somebody, one of the suits, is frantically waving at you from behind the northwest chevron.
Down button.
And we're back in the dark.
Perfect. Okay. I try to hold back the nausea again, if there is any.
I need another con save.
All right. I think that's 7.
You have, in addition to the nausea, a few moments of the world is real spinny.
Yeah, we're not going to be doing that too often, but this time I don't want to have to run across that path in front of Reaper fire and all that. Hopefully this is the last time I'll have to switch these so rapidly. It's not. It's not going to be the last time. But I can hope. Okay. Taking a minute. I've got all the time in the world here.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah, we can hope.
We can hope. Okay. Try to recover there. Head back over to the far side. Get next to wherever that person was.
Mm-hmm.
Prepare. put the pistol away, get a grenade out, and then press the button.
Once again, we are back in the sun, and I would like a con save now, please.
Crit fail.
Okay, you do have effort points, which you can spend to re-roll if you so desire.
Cool, I'm doing that. 14.
Okay, you get the moment of dizziness again, but nothing worse than that so far. All right, what are you doing? You've got that second of reaction.
I am immediately tossing the grenade over my shoulder into the oncoming horde.
Okay. Are you facing, like, were you trying to face where the person was, or face the pod and then, like, throw it back over this way?
I'm facing sort of towards the pod. I have my back to the cover. I'm down behind the cover, so I'm just going,
Gotcha.
Toss it over the shoulder, look over at what the guy's doing.
Okay. So, yes, you toss the grenade over, and you wait for it to explode. But while you are there, you have landed right beside this person who... insight check, please.
10.
You've never done first contact before. And so it's difficult to know exactly what this person, this being is thinking, especially because they have no facial features. So you realize that the suits of armor, and you're not sure whether this is a synthetic being or a person in a suit, it's hard to tell. It's the same size as the synthetic beings, but there were also suits of armor that were the same size. And there are no facial features. There's no transparency. It is just an orange helmet that covers their face. They, however, are facing you as you appear. And as you appear, they reach out and grab your shoulder. Are you doing anything?
No, not immediately. I'm actually going to be waiting for any additional hand gestures or instructions.
Sure.
Teru is not as surprised by this as
Yes, I figured
expected.
as much. Teru's a pretty smart cookie. So the being grabs your shoulder, and what level of decryption does your hardsuit computer have? How locked down is Teru's hardsuit?
That is a...
Nominally.
Oh. Pretty heavily.
Okay, then it's a pretty significant surprise when all of those firewalls do nothing. Your hardsuit computer is being accessed. This is, I think you pretty clearly recognize very immediately, this is one of the synthetics, and it accesses your computer, and within the space of about a half a breath, what they are saying goes from absolute gibberish to pure Keelish. And the person grabbing your shoulder says, "Oh, thank fuck, it worked!"
Wait a minute. I think I might recognize this person.
Do you really? Shocking.
Oh.
Told you were playing out in my sandbox.
Out of character, I recognize this person. Teru has no idea.
No, Teru has no fucking clue.
Okay. Teru's just going to yell, do I press the button or not?
No, not yet.
What do you want?
Okay. So the being is going to, like, poke its head up and make sort of this noise that it's like, we don't have a lot of time here sort of noise, like, and then duck in with you behind the chevron and point to the pod. Say, "Does it make it?"
Yes.
All right, I need to get in there. You need to power it up. And then I'm very, very sorry, but then you need to die.
I like two parts of this plan.
I figured as much, and I wish I had a better one, but I promise you... there's, like, the equivalent of they duck as if there's gunfire coming over top and nothing's happening, so whatever is happening, it is not on a vision or plane that you can tell. But it's the best plan I've got!
How is that your best plan? Alright. Teru is going to take a moment amidst the gunfire to figure out how to possibly respond to this situation.
Uh-huh!
Just get me beyond all the other stuff. How do I power it up?
He grabs the boomerang out of your hands, turns it around, and shows you on the bottom of the scalloped bit that there's another glyph of the same sort that's on the back of the pod. Tap this, the power cell comes out, and you can put it in over there.
Where's he pointing?
Into the pod.
Oh, okay. And when you say I need to die?
We only have one of these stupid power cells left. I can only power one of the devices. If I'm going to make it through, the interface can't bring you back.
Teru presses the down button.
Do you try to take it back first, or are you pressing the down button while it's still in the other being's hand? Are you just reaching over and going boop?
I'm taking it back. Well,
okay.
I'm at least holding on to it, and then pressing the button.
Poof, you are back in the present, right where you were.
Okay. Teru needs a minute to think. And he figured, in the middle of gunfire and husks and whatever else was going on there is not the time to do it. Especially when it involves pondering whether he should just stay there and die to all of that. Because as much as he sympathizes with whatever was going on there, he has no idea who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
Or what it means if one of them survives and makes it through and all that.
Yeah.
Especially if, he's not around to check on things after or get them back to the galaxy or make sure they don't blow up the galaxy. He doesn't know. So this thing, the pod needs a power cell.
Yeah. Have you looked at the interface at all since coming back?
I guess maybe he was just looking into space until now.
You can read it now.
He'll look down at it. Good.
The warning that flashes says that containment suit is inadequate. And then the buttons are, the warning is containment suit inadequate, anchor established, and then anchor 1 and anchor 2.
Well, I think I've been very much feeling the effects of the inadequate containment suit. But I'm sure it can get worse. Almost was. Especially for a quarian. At least I have some containment suit.
Yes.
So, that individual said they needed to get into the pod,
Mm-hmm.
yes?
Yes, that's correct.
And the pod needs a power cell.
Correct.
Well, barring some temporal shenanigans, I'm not going to be able to steal the power cell out of this one to power the one in the past, I assume. And the key problem is we only have one of these pads. It has the power cell that needs.
Yep.
And if I stick the power cell into that, and then it does whatever that person is going to do with it, I will just be stuck there because the pad won't have a power cell, and I won't be able to come back to the future.
Based on your current understanding of the situation and the information you have, yes.
Lovely.
You neatly sidestepped the eventuality that would give you the puzzle piece that you'd need to fix this. Because you're too damn clever. I almost did it!
Of course I would.
Oh, yes, of course you would. The one thing I didn't see coming. But anyway.
I don't suppose it's buried under everything by the southern pylon. Okay, I'm gonna go explore that.
You're digging around in the bodies?
Yeah, at this point I might as well.
Okay. You come across the broken remains of the original spire.
Okay.
You don't find anything else, but you find that one was presumably destroyed at some point.
Okay. Any interesting pieces amongst the remains?
No. Just a bunch of bodies.
Gotta stick the supply pylon back down. Does it look like I would be able to at all... I don't get the impression that it's going to matter, but just in case. Does it look like it's possible to repair this pylon?
I wouldn't think so. It's pretty broken. Not with tools you have.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anything... looking around the room, is there anything any area I have not actually searched properly?
I don't think so.
And also, do I find any of my own body lying around the room somewhere?
No, you do not. You do not. Yeah.
Excellent. That's a good sign. Okay. And I'm going to... He's told me how to get the power cell out of this thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that these people were sane and have the option to put the power cell back in once I take it out.
This seems reasonable.
So I'm going to pop that out and see what it looks like.
Okay. So you tap the little glyph, and the glyph sort of glows, rotates, and sort of pops out. And it's just a little tiny cylindrical crystal, some sort of crystal that glows briefly as you're holding it and then goes dormant.
All right. Just out of curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to walk over to the back of the pod.
Yeah.
And while still holding onto the crystal so it doesn't get sucked in or something and then we just wreck everything, I'm going to poke it at the symbol, at the glyph on the back and see if it responds at all.
Okay. As it approaches, that glyph rotates and opens to, it would allow you to slot it in.
Does it look like it would be able to, well, I suppose there's no real way to tell if it would be openable after I push that in.
I'll say that you've taken the cell out of the boomerang, out of the interface, and when you did so, you saw a similar empty cylinder that then the glyph sort of rotated and covered over. So.
Okay, cool. Then just to see what happens, I am going to put the crystal in that and close it.
Into the pod?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it pops in, it closes, and then you're a quarian, you're used to listening to ship's engines and hums. There's this very soft hum as presumably whatever this machine is sort of activates. Do you go around to look at it, or do you stay where you are?
Yeah, I'm going to search the area, see if anything changed.
Okay. As you come around to the front side, you see a sort of an oval outline in a very faint glow on the front of it.
Okay. Does it seem to be doing anything?
Not at the moment. Not if you're just looking at it.
I'm going to go poke it.
Okay, you're going to poke it. It slides open, revealing an empty inside of the chamber.
Does it look like a window or a door?
You would guess door.
Okay. So I can climb inside.
You could, yes.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
Okay.
Carefully.
Okay.
At this point, at least this technology doesn't seem hostile.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to explore the inside of the pod.
All right, as you enter and you turn around, it closes over top of you, and it lights up on the inside with a series of displays and so on. And now you can read them. And you very quickly come to understand that this is the equivalent of a cryostasis pod or some sort of stasis pod. It flashes warnings that the containment suit must be removed or upgraded for use. Unfamiliar anatomy detected. Warning, blah, blah, blah. And it says, hunting through all the things, thank goodness it's translating for you, otherwise you'd be really up a creek. It says that the power cell has enough juice in it that it could run for an approximation of 500,000 years.
Good batteries. For a brief moment, Teru thinks about the fact that that power cell on its own would be an amazing gift to the quarian fleet. But he's not going to just wander off with that in a situation like this. So, the item that he's most interested in at the moment is, it keeps talking about these containment suits.
Yes.
He has a bunch of containment suit pieces outside that may or may not be defunct. He is a quarian machinist. And he already has a suit of his own, which is just inadequate, not fatally inadequate so far. So it may be time for some investigation and modifications. After all, he has some time.
Sure.
So, is there any information inside this pod or in the datapad now? Well, actually, he'll have to go get the power cell for the datapad to check that, but information about what counts as a viable containment suit.
I will say that the pod does... Actually, yeah, it probably would. You have to do some poking around and navigating of very foreign file management trees, but you find it eventually, and as far as you can tell, the suits outside on the ground, based on you're looking at it, obviously you don't have serial numbers or anything like that, but they look to be identical. And so that's sort of the gold standard of if you're wearing a suit, that's the suit you want to be wearing.
Right. Good. And those suits seem to be pretty well preserved, yeah? Aside from the damage.
Yes.
Okay. Teru rubs his hands together. It's time to do some scavenging.
Okay, this can be a straight repair roll, although I do think that you may have an aspect or two that may help with this. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure. I also think you have like a plus 18 to your repair skill.
I do. Plus 18 and advantage.
So, yeah.
I mean, I didn't roll all that well, but still, 27.
Yeah, this is not difficult. You sort of kludge it together. It's not perfect, because again, these beings seem to be mostly quite a bit larger than you, like on the order of probably like a yawn taller. But there are some shorter ones, and at the end of, I don't know, probably a few hours, you have cobbled together a sort of outer suit for your suit, including a helmet, which you can't see anything out of, which is really, really weird. But it, maybe. I assume, I'm kind of imagining you holding the helmet, where it's like, okay, I'll put the helmet back up, take the helmet off, put the helmet back on, take the helmet off, so you can see.
Yes. Okay, well, fortunately I have at least a way to check, sort of, because when I went into the pod, it said containment suit inadequate.
Yes.
So if I go into the pod with this on, hopefully it won't say that.
Instead of giving you sort of the chime, it gives and if you take your helmet off, you say it's giving you the equivalent of a smiley face.
Very good. Okay, so important thing is I can now probably time travel without getting nauseous, which is something Teru never thought he would think. So that opens up a lot of options, assuming it works. Unfortunately, looking around in here, there does not look to be... The only way to put the battery in the pod is from the outside.
Yes.
Which, yeah, that's inconvenient. On the other hand, I am, again, an engineer.
True.
Which, I don't have a combat drone. I do have a decoy, which probably doesn't apply here, but I might be able to figure something out. I'm wondering if it would be possible to... Well, now that I have the suit, I can potentially just get in the pod with him once... Possibly. The battery is put in.
It's meant for one, but you might be able to squish.
Well, it's a resort. Not necessarily the last resort, but a resort. The last resort is just dying. Should have more time to have a dialogue with whoever that is, without all the death happening. On the other hand, now that I have the suit, I can potentially just go back there, because this person seems to remember between the jumps, to at least some extent.
It does seem that way, yes.
So I can have a bunch of really brief conversations now that I have the suit.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So, just because it's funny, Teru is going to get the suit ready, go over to the covered location again, and head back there. And then once he gets there, just do a little gesture to the suit and questioning. Okay, I've got this, come on.
So have you swapped the power cell back to the interface now?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay. As you power it on and you're kind of doing it flashes up and it reboots. So you get the little spinny heptagon again. And it flashes that you see the text says coordinates established. That's when it sees the 7 points that you've made a supply pile on. And then it says containment suit adequate, anchor re-established, and then anchor 1 and anchor 2.
Okay. There are a bunch of things that could mean. Just off the top of my head, I want to assume that the immediate assumption is that the anchor point is established by, or when I power the
interface
pad on, and it recognizes me after having initially powered on. So it's just going to go to this point in time now, rather than several minutes ago or whatever. Second option is the anchor is the pod at this point in time, though I'm not sure that quite lines up. Third option is the anchor is me at this point in time somehow, but off the top of my head, as a player, I'm not sure how to prove or test any of these, or whether there are other options that are not coming to mind. Okay, I'm sure that's fine. I am going to press the top button.
Okay, are you back in the same chevron that you were in last time?
Yeah.
Okay. You explode onto the scene once again, and once again, your buddy is right there, and he waves,
Welcome back. My suit.
And you notice as you come in that the interior of the helmet, like it looked opaque, you can see through it now.
That's convenient.
So you can see them.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to toss another grenade over the ship cover again.
Uh-huh.
Can't hurt.
No, can't hurt.
We have a bit more time now, I assume?
They poke their head over. You hear the explosion. They come back down.
Well, a few seconds, probably. A little bit.
There are no more power cores.
Unfortunately, no. Not on this planet anyway, and I don't know about you, but
He kind of peeks over again.
I don't think we're getting out through that.
Not in this point in time.
Ah, you figured it out. Very good.
What planets? Teru is genuinely considering just leaving, going and finding a relic on a different planet, and then coming back.
The being rattles off a list of names, none of which you recognize.
Of course. It was worth a try.
Names can be translated, but they've changed, so...
Right. You need to get in the pod. I need to put the power cell in. Can I also be in the pod?
They tell their...
I don't.
Can I skip the dying part?
I think we would probably get about 250,000 years in and then we would both die in the pod. Because there would be no one there to let us out from the other end. But have you not?
And then he sort of they have this realization, they tilt their head and...
Oh, that's not a problem. No, see,
pops up, does some sort of wavy thing, and there's sort of the sound of husks screaming, pops back down.
You won't actually die. You'll die here, but you won't die.
Oh.
You're not supposed to be here. See, I made it so that you could come here, but you're not supposed to be here. So the universe will be like, no, don't like that, and we'll toss you back as soon as you die, because you're not supposed to die here. You're supposed to die, I don't know, sometime whenever then. But that's not a problem. Sorry, most people understand those things.
How do most people understand those things?
Because we've been doing this for a very long time.
Well, we haven't.
Clearly.
Go get in the pod.
All right.
He stands up and, just bolts. Obviously, superhuman speed with the whole synthetic pneumatic thing going on. And then he kind of stands there and, goes behind it, and he peeks his head out.
It needs to be on. I can't get in unless it's on.
While he's making that run, supply pylon, turret, decoy, then I run.
You've distracted the husks for a hot second. You make it over. Are you putting the thing in?
Yeah.
Okay. Pop it in. The being,
thank you. See you on the other side.
Hops in. It closes, and you are left on a battlefield with a Reaper destroyer across the ray from you, and a horde of husks. What are you doing?
All right. Time to make this last as long as possible.
All right.
I have another 10 grenades.
Okay, I can pretty safely say that you will run yourself out of ammo and grenades, and the husks keep coming. I assume do you want me to make you save for every time the destroyer fires its laser?
No. Appreciate it.
This is very, very much end of Halo Reach. The enemies are not stopping.
Yeah. For the sake of time, I will say we don't have to play out me desperately trying to find any hole to crawl out of or into or setting whatever traps in the middle of battle. But suffice it to say, I'm probably spending another 4 effort.
Okay, sure. I will say that as you are doing this desperate last stand, you see that the 7th pylon, where you put your supply pylon, is destroyed in one of the Reaper's blasts. You see that happen. You are building the pile of husks at the broken open entrance. And yeah, you are deking left, right, and center these Reaper destroyer beams. And I don't think I'll need to make you roll an insight for you to realize that this is more or less a case of you deciding how much you trust the person who's now in the pod. And based on that, how quickly you want this to be over.
Teru trusts this person enough that he's willing to actually go along with this plan.
Mm-hmm.
He by no means is going to stop and accept anything before he is made to.
Okay, fair enough. I think there's probably there's a little bit of trauma in there. A little bit of you can't make me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then this is more or less your decision of whether you want to spend all your effort points or how you want to play this out. Because we both know where this is going, but it's your decision where it's going narratively.
That is a very good question. I want to say that under the circumstances, Teru would not go quite that far, because he knows where this is going in the end. And out of character, doing something that's going to give him, like, some horrible phobia out of all this is probably not where this is going to go. So, I'll say I use 7.
Okay.
And leave it at that.
Then my last question is, how does Teru want to die?
In the biggest explosion possible.
Okay, then I think...
Oh, that reminds me.
Yes?
I do have 3 vials of Rachni spit.
Amazing. Okay, so I think as you're fighting your way through this, you realize that you discover a few things. One is that the synthetic beings have some explodey bits within them. And I think you eventually decide, okay, you know what? If this is how it's going to be, then I am putting up a quarians don't have a middle finger. A figurative middle finger to this Reaper Destroyer. And I suspect what you do is, as you're still trying to kill husks, you have made yourself a pile of explodey bits, sprinkled the Rachni spit on top, and then are attempting to goad the Reaper.
Don't forget the ball bearings.
And the ball bearings, very important. A statistically significant number of ball bearings, as a matter of fact. And then I think you are goading the Reaper into shooting it, getting close enough and shooting it. If that suits you...
Hopefully shooting close enough to it to set it off, but not to just vaporize the whole thing.
Sure.
But, yes.
I think there is this moment where Teru hears that god-awful roar, which has clearly not changed in any cycle. It is always the same. And the red beam, you'd swear they move faster than that, and then it catches, and you see the beginning of the explosion, and then the beam is on you, and there's this moment, this instant of heat, and then everything is dark again.
When Teru goes, he is laughing.
Amazing. You laugh into the darkness, and you are still laughing when your night vision kicks in again. And you are exactly where you were standing with the, subtraction of, several bodies worth of floor. You were standing in exactly the same position as you were back in your time.
Teru just sits there for several seconds. The laughs sort of dwindling off into chuckles, and then he hauls himself up off the floor. Battles are not necessarily long, but that felt like it took a while. And he's proud of that.
Yeah, I would agree. You can feel the effects of exhaustion, but it's mental. I imagine you probably took a few hits in that. It's hard to get through an entire combat unscathed. There is no evidence of those physical injuries. Only the memory of them.
Do I still have the ball bearings?
You do.
Teru laughs a little bit, thinking of, okay, done that. If he gets the power cell again, he could go back and do it again.
Presumably, yes.
He's got all the supplies back.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no point. Time for him to finish what he started here. Sort of painfully makes his way over to the pod at the back.
Mm-hmm.
And knocks on the outside.
As Teru approaches, you can see that you hear the hum, you feel the hum, the outline of the oval glows faintly, and then as you knock, it slides open, and the being that fought beside you ever so briefly, if it had a mouth, it would beam at you, but as it does not, it sort of sits up straight.
Oh, good show, it worked!
And hops out, sticks out a hand, and says,
I'm Sarah. What's your name?
Teru takes the hand. Teru'Allas, Nar Istiak. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. Now, important question. Reapers, still a thing? Or no?
No.
Oh, thank God. Should we go cause trouble?
Absolutely.
You have been listening to I Should Roll, Time and Void, Episode 1, New Friends, featuring the voices of James Frederick Hallow as Teru'Allas nar Istiak, and Kaya Renwick as everyone and everything else. Music and sound effects are used under Creative Commons or royalty-free licenses. For the extended credits, please see the show notes, and for more information, please visit ishouldroll.com. Find us everywhere on social media at I Should Roll, and don't forget to leave us a review. I Should Roll is an Intergalactic Improv Initiative production. This fan podcast is a transformative work and is not affiliated with Electronic Arts or BioWare. Thank you for listening. Have a pleasant day.